Hi, I'm Bob Pierce, Vice President of OHP Direct, and I've got a special treat for you today. We're here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Paiute Golf Resort, 13 miles north of Las Vegas, and is just an absolutely fabulous course. Do yourself a favor and come the very short drive a little bit north of Las Vegas and visit this golf course. It's a fantastic place. Now, let me introduce for just a moment Mr. Mike Cortson. Mike, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So if you would, tell me a little bit about how you discovered the secret to Ben Hogan's golf swing.
I started playing golf probably in the late 1980s, and I live in Pasadena, California. My father-in-law encouraged me to take up golf because I was an attorney. He says, it's a good way to entertain your clients, and I said, well, okay, I'll try it.
Just recreational golf.
Right. Well, I was making good money as a trial lawyer and entertainment lawyer in LA, and I said, okay, I can do that. So I went out like every other guy and went to the sporting goods store and bought all the clubs and bag and shoes, and just spent thousands of dollars on all the goodies, and then bought all the books and tapes and went home and studied as harder than I did for the bar exam. And then went out, got a bucket of balls, went up to the driving range and made a fool out of myself, just like everybody else does.
I've been there.
I just kept plugging away, and it never seemed to get any better until I ran into this gentleman named John Schley. John was behind me hitting balls at the same driving range as at Eaton Canyon Golf Course in Pasadena. And he was hitting bullets. And I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know anything about him, but it was just, you heard him before you saw him, and it was one right after the other. And I'm dribbling the ball 10 feet, and hit one slice, and then a hook, and miss it completely. And I was pretty much as good as everybody else out there except this guy. And finally, I heard from my shoulder. He said, "Hey, kid." I go, "What?" He says, "You suck."
You suck?
Just like that. I started laughing. I said, "Who are you, Sherlock Holmes?"
Okay, good comeback.
And he starts laughing. He goes, "No." He introduced himself. I'm John Schley. So
Oh, John. I called him Don just a moment ago.
John.
John Schley. Okay.
I didn't know him from anything. And I knew he had his name on his bag, and he was playing blades, which I read were impossible to hit, and he was just killing them. And he was an older guy. He was probably close to, his mid-50s, 60s, about my age now. He says, "You ever heard of a guy named Ben Hogan?" I said, "Well, yeah. Well, I got his book, I got tapes. I got all kinds of stuff about Ben Hogan." He says, "Well, you ever heard of The Secret?" I said, "Well, yeah." He said, "Well, it's not in the books." He says, "Oh, I was at my sister's in the morning, and I collapsed and was taken by ambulance to the hospital, and underwent surgery, an emergency colonoscopy, and they removed 5 cancerous polyps from me, and then I spent a week in the hospital and went through a bunch of testing, and I had terminal cancer."
So you're at your sister's house, and you just pass out and black out?
Well, I've been sick up till then a lot, and just finally it reached its peak, and I didn't know what was wrong. I knew something was wrong, but
So how much time elapsed when you woke up finally in the recovery room?
I don't know how long I was out, but
Really?
I woke up and I didn't know. I knew I was in a hospital. That's all I knew.
Okay.
And then the doctor came in and told me that during the surgery I had died 2 times.
Wow.
And the second time they took their gloves off and said that, "Well, you're done." And I came back. And
Wow.
they finished me up, and I spent a week going through oncology testing, and they sent me home to die.
They sent you home to die?
Yeah.
Their statements to you were?
Well, my doctor stood at the foot of my bed, and he said, "I'm sorry, you're a goner. There's nothing we can do. Go home, get your affairs in order. You can go home at after lunch, and I'm sorry."
I have to imagine that's pretty tough news to take.
Yeah, it was like a bad movie. I didn't want to be in it. But it was the start of this lousy show.
So you go home, and I know you go home to get your affairs in order, and you called hospice in? Or
I called
hospice.
hospice. Eventually called in hospice, did my funeral arrangements, and I went from about 185 pounds to about 110 in around a month.
Wow.
And brought it away till that was in April 1st through around July is when they figured I was about done, and so I did my funeral arrangements on the 16th. And when I lingered along until I guess October 16th, they told me I had a massive stroke.
So on top of all this, now you have a stroke.
Right.
So that makes you, which side of your body was affected by
My
the stroke?
right side is still affected by it.
It still today is?
Yes, and I have neuritis and neuropathy in both legs. From the knees down, my legs are on fire 24/7, and every step's like stepping on a nail.
So you're out here hitting golf swings and stuff. This is not, most people would like to just be standing upright
Yeah,
after what you've gone through. You're out here playing golf.
it hurts a lot.
It hurts a lot. So you got to really love the game, huh?
Right.
How do you go from sitting here, being in the hospital, calling in hospice, sounds like days away from, cashing in your ticket, to being here today? It's amazing that you're even here. Most people with terminal cancer, you don't see 6 months later. How did you manage to overcome that battle?
Well, I woke up. I was in a coma for a while, and then my lucidity came back in about January of 2004. I was paralyzed, and I couldn't read or write, couldn't do anything. I had no consciousness or presence of mind of what I was doing as a babbling idiot. So it was like a stroke
Really?
victim.
And you don't have any idea how long this took place?
Well, I just know from the medical record, from when it
Okay.
took place until things started making sense to me again, and I started recognizing shapes and people and what it meant. I remember the exact moment. One morning, I felt like a comet went across my eyebrow, and as I'd had a golf ball size clot in my brain, and it was like this major awakening. My nurse was standing there looking at me, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was a woman. I didn't know what a woman was. And those memories just started flooding back. But I was still paralyzed. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything for myself.
So
and
this
I was
was
still
in-
sick and dying.
What year was this?
2004.
2004.
Yeah. In
Wow.
about January. So I was still not, I had no chance of ever leaving the place. I was in a nursing home. It turns out it was the third one I'd been in.
Really?
And I decided, well, if I'm going to be here and this is it, I'll get used to the idea and let's cheer up and make the best of it. And the happier I got, the better I started to feel, and I started to eat. I started to put on weight. By February, whatever was eating me up went away, and I started to be able to walk a little more. I stopped falling down so much. I still got scars all over me this was from my watch just laying on it one night. Cut a hole all the way to the bone.
Wow. So you were really frail.
No,
You were
it was
in
like
bad shape.
I was like paper thin.
Really?
And on June 11, 2004, I walked out. I'm the only one that ever walked out of there.
Now I know this kind of goes into a whole nother topic about a book that you're currently writing.
Right.
But you credit happiness with getting you out of the hospital.
Sure.
That's
Absolutely.
That's what cured you and got you out.
Had to.
Okay, so it was more
medication
state
would
of
help.
mind, in your opinion?
Right. There was no surgery or medication that was going to help me.
Okay.
So,
So you started in this process of healing yourself. Did you have to retrain yourself to walk and eat and these types of things? or-
Everything.
Really?
everything. I learned to read again, write. It's hard to even talk about.
When did you decide that golf was going to be a part of your life again?
One, I couldn't do anything else. And I said, well, I've got to do something with my time. I'm totally disabled. Maybe I could play golf or do something with my time, because I really enjoyed it, even though I stunk at it really bad. Before I got sick, I never broke 90 in my life.
No kidding.
And had nothing but a big slice and whatever, and I'd totally forgotten everything John had told me, even though I'd been a PGA Tour player manager for many years, using my legal skills, not my golfing skills by any. But I'd spent years watching top players in the world, close up and personal, day in and day out. And now I had all this time on my hands, and I said, well, maybe I can teach myself how to this broken body into playing golf again.
So you obviously rehabilitated yourself in terms of all your physical skills, and you get back to a functional place, and then you decide you want to play golf.
All right.
At what point did you start to remember the things that John had shared with you in Southern California on that driving range?
Oh, in the late fall of 2004, I had a old sand wedge and one of these little foam rubber balls, and I started chipping it around my apartment.
Really?
And I knew I had to get to the wrinkle position that John had told me. And I said, well, I got to figure out how I can do that and do it, with the disabilities that I have, with not being able to use my right side because I lost the natural arm swing that you have when you walk, like we talked about.
Okay.
And I was able to hit the ball straight.
Can you still feel your grip pressure and stuff?
Yeah.
Can you? Okay, so it's more kind of in the shoulders that bothers you a bit?
It's just this right in here, so,
Okay.
and my arm just kind of hangs like a sausage. You've seen it. So.
Okay. So now you get out on the golf course late that summer?
And then, well, spring came on. I was eager to try it and see if I could get out. If I was able to walk the course, just that would be, monumental, because being able to just stand up was a chore, and then to walk down to the mailbox and back, that was a major adventure in the day.
Okay.
I could from the living room to the kitchen and back. Wow, I did a good day. That was a major accomplishment.
So you started enjoying golf. What made you decide to actually take what John had shared with you and put it in a book form?
Well, I went to the golf course, a little club where now I'm the teacher, and I started playing alone. And everyone was a very small town where I'm from, and everyone knew my family and knew me and what I'd been through. Mm-hmm. And they were saying, "Wow, you hit the ball pretty straight, and you don't hit it really far, but it's always." You play really well. What do you score? And I said, well, in the 70s. And they're like, what? But, how can you do that? I said, well, I do this. And one of the guys who works at the course one day said, can you show me what you do? And he's about your size, a young guy in his 30s, and he asked me how to do it. I said, well, I'll show you. And I showed him what John had showed me and how I did it. And we went to we played the back nine, was our first hole there. It was about a 145-yard par 3. Mm-hmm. I said, what do you normally hit here? He said, 5 iron. I said, where does it usually go? He says, way right in the 11th fairway every time. I said, well, we'll do what I showed you, but use a 7 iron and don't, just relax and do it. And he hit the ball dead straight right over the flag, about 20 yards up over the green.
With a 7 iron?
With a 7 iron. He turned around and looked at me like he'd seen a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And we hobbled around the back nine, and I gave him a couple mulligans because we were talking while I was hitting. And he shot +7 on the back. We did the front 9, and he was +2 on the front. He was 9 over par.
Wow.
For a guy who never broke 100. It was the only lesson he ever had.
He was pretty excited.
I see him every day when I play out there, and all he does is smile and wave, and he's a happy camper.
How about that? You put these things in the book. I mean, because most people, when they hear about somebody that might have been Hogan's Golf Secrets, they're thinking maybe Sam Snead, I don't know, Chichi Rodriguez, Lee Trevino, maybe they got Ben Hogan's secrets. But, Mike Cortson from Michigan, they're probably not thinking, I mean, how do you manage to make this happen?
Luck.
Just luck.
Just as pure luck to be in the right place at the right time and being able to assimilate what he was teaching me and being able to relate it to an average person to be able to put it into their golf swing, because there were a lot of tricks that Ben used in his swing to cover up what he was doing. Uh-huh. And I've watched the videos from Ben Hogan from all the different major teachers, and this is what his swing was, and this is what swing plane means, and this is what this means, and they don't have any clue as to what he was talking about.
Very confused by it.
They're confused. They're trying to figure out what he was doing, and it wasn't until I knew what he was doing. I just couldn't find it myself until I got some film of his and was able to get some video editing software and look at it, and piece by piece, and just inklings. And I used my skills as a lawyer because I don't believe anybody. It's like this, how does he go from this to that in a split second? And I found where he did it. And I said, oh, well, that's how he did it. Well, if you're David Copperfield, go ahead and do that. But if you're me and you're just an average guy and you want to play, do it my way. It's a lot easier than trying to fool all your competitors to know what you're up to.
Really? Now, do you find this to be pretty easy to teach for other people to be able to grab hold of it?
About as easy as riding a bicycle. And once you understand how to do it, and you just start playing golf, play golf swing.
Well, I only learned how to ride a bicycle once. I never went back to an instructor 2 or 3 times to learn how to ride a bicycle.
Well, I have a student who went to Phoenix last year, spent $3,000 for a week at a resort there, and I met him while we were both waiting to get our cars fixed. He says, "Oh, I see your hat. You like golf?" And I said, "Yeah, I teach golf," and I wrote a little book about golf. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I just got back from Phoenix. I spent $3,000. He said, "Beautiful, beautiful resort. Great teachers, computers, everything. Oh man, amazing thing. Oh, I loved it." I said, "Oh, good, great." He said, "I'm going back in the spring." I said, "Oh, you like the courses?" No, I need a tune-up, and I'm working on this and working on that." I said, "Why are you going back?" I said, "How many bicycle lessons did you have?" And he's, "1. "And how many have you had since?" "None." "Do you plan on having any more?" "No." Well, then why are you going back for spend another $3,000 on your golf swing? So when I showed him in the little waiting room what I did, and a few weeks later he called me and says, "Okay, I'll cough up the money and do a lesson with you." And I took him out and I showed him the same thing I showed the other guy. The first guy who asked me. I was no golf teacher. I didn't want to be a golf teacher.
Okay.
And he says, "Well, here's what you do." And he did it and he goes, "It can't be this easy." I said, "Why not?" "Who said I had to be hard?" I went to Montessori school. We never told kids this stuff was hard.
Right.
Here, just do this. And he kept doing it. I haven't heard from him since.
Really? Must be getting results then.
I guess.
How about that? I talk to a lot of people who decide that they want to put together golf instructional videos. But sometimes when you get out on the driving range or the course with them, they can't always walk their talk. I'm sitting beside a man today that can walk his talk. Mike, thanks for the wonderful work that you've done. I'm sorry that you had to go through the terrible personal struggles that you did to be able to arrive at the place in your life where you decided to share Hogan's secret with everybody else, but I'm sure glad that you decided to contribute that to the world of golf for us.
Everybody can break 80 now.
Everybody can break 80. I'll have to put that one to the test personally.
Okay.
All right, Mike, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right.